Well, last week the market rose for 4 days in a row, reaching a 5-year high after the federal election. And that shows that there is renewed business confidence now that there is some stability in Canberra. However, on Friday there was some profit taking, especially as investors were a little bit concerned about what was happening with the American Federal Reserve and their tapering of their monetary stimulus program. This morning in the Australian Financial Review, Wall Street has warned that the Australian banks are the most expensive banks in the world. And interestingly, over the last decade, the Australian banks have risen from 2% of the global banking index to now 14%. Some hedge funds have shorted the Australian banks, expecting their price to drop. In May earlier this year, UBS announced that the Commonwealth Bank was the most expensive bank in the world on every measure. However, this morning on opening of trade, all 4 banks were up with a minimum of 0.5%. The minutes from the meeting of the Reserve Bank of Australia will be published tomorrow, and this will give some insights into Glenn Stevens' thoughts as to why he left interest rates on hold earlier this month. Later this week, we'll expect to hear from the US Federal Reserve and what they'll be doing about the tapering of their monetary policy. And this has been termed Sep-Taper. In the US, Twitter has filed for initial public offering, and it is the most anticipated float of 2013, expecting to raise in the order of $10 billion. Back home, Milton Corporation has a share purchase plan on offer where unit holders can purchase up to $15,000 worth of shares at a discount to net tangible assets of around 5.7%. So this should be considered, and offers close on the 20th of September. Australian Infrastructure Fund is asking its shareholders to vote on 2 matters. Firstly, a return of capital, and secondly, their largest shareholder, Wilson Asset Management, wants to replace the existing directors with 3 of their own and use Australian Infrastructure Fund as a further investment vehicle rather than closing it down. And if you'd like any further information, you can follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, or go to our website.